as the years.
IRIE.org/website. That's mamayaya.wixsite.com/website.
Okay. So now we're going to get back to some more the ending of Don Cornelius, and then we'll do a little bit of Clinton Gent. But I got the sneaking suspicion we might finish Clinton Gent on next week's show. So Cornelius, with the Staple Singers during the production of the 1974 episode of The Soul Train, but his smooth and deep voice and his afro, which slowly shrank over the years as a hairstyle taste, because man used to have a big afro, changed. Cornelius was best known for the catchphrases that he used to close the show. And you can bet your last money it's gonna be a stone gas, honey. I'm Don Cornelius, and as in always, in parting, we wish you love, peace, and soul train. And that's how it ended. After Cornelius' departure, it was shortened. And as always, we wish you love, peace, and soul. And it was used through most of the recent new episodes in 2006. Another introductory phrase which he often used, we got another sound coming out of Philly that's a show enough dilly. He had a small number of film roles, most notably a record producer, Mo Fuzz, in 1988, Tapeheads. Cornelius last appeared on the episode of the TV series Unsung featuring Full Force, which was aired 2 days before his death. Don Cornelius died in February of 2012. So that's Don Cornelius. Now Clinton Gent, they were looking all over for Clinton Gent because, he just had dropped off to the face of the earth after he concluded the Soul Train in 1976. But I actually found out what happened with Clinton Gent in this article. Okay, this time after weeks of frustration, and this article is actually written by Jake Austin, and it's taken from the Reader's Music and Nightlife. This time, after weeks of frustration, I was able to track down Gent with the help of his brother, Peter Pan Gent. He's far from a recluse, but after becoming frustrated with the state of the entertainment business in the 80s, he made a point of losing touch with his showbiz associates. The first thing people talk about when they remember Gent is his anatomy. After all, he was a dancer. Short fellow, very long legs, DJ Herb Kent recalls. Very gifted. He could dance his butt off. Everybody loved him. Despite his small stature, Gent was also a standout basketball player. As a teen playing for the nearby Tilden Tech, he made All-City, and after a disconcerting campus visit to a Colorado college caused him to turn down a scholarship. There were 3 blacks on campus, me and 2 Africans. I wasn't ready for that, Gent said. He spent the summer playing Pro-Am, which led to a scholarship at Wilberforce, a historical black university in Ohio, and then nearby Central State University. Goofing around outside a mumble class near the gym there, he caught the attention of a dance professional who helped him to get a scholarship for a 6-month program at Juilliard. When he returned to Chicago in 1967, though he hadn't completed his college degree, he had a certificate in choreography instruction. Ghent took a job teaching dance to kids through the Park District and became a fixture on the South Side nightclub scene, particularly the Stories Budland at 64th and Cottage Grove. The club was the baddest, or had the baddest dancers in the city, he says. I don't care how fine a lady was, how sharp, how stacked. If you did not know how to dance, you were going to get no action at Budland. Along with Ronnie Paul Johnson, an early regular on the Soul Train set, and another friend, Ghent formed a group called the Budlanders. They worked up a funny pantomime dance routine to a popular record, and soon they were opening for musical acts at local clubs. After seeing them open for the Jackson 5 at the High Chaparral, Joe Jackson approached Ghent about choreographing routines for his son. Jackson initially paid him $15 per song, but over the next decade and a half, Ghent would go on to choreograph routines for the Emotions, the Shy-Lights, the Stair Steps, the Whispers, and others, and continue to work with the Jackson 5 after they signed with Motown. By then, he was earning $250 a routine. In 1969, Ghent was hanging out at the Guys and Gals Club on 69th and Green when he ran into his old friend Cornelius. I called him Donald Duck because he could draw cartoons, Ghent said. By the time he was on the radio, I said, Donald Duck. He say, hey man, I'm putting together a TV show. I need the best dancers you can get. You can get them together for me. The Soul Train pilot was shot at WCIU, and thanks to Ghent, it was stocked with ringers. Not the usual teeny boppers, but the badass dancers from the Budland. When Sears exec George O'Hare saw the sample episode that he eventually was able to convince his boss to sponsor, he was watching a group of adults recreate the smoky, sexy atmosphere of the Southside clubs. I'm thinking, I'm through, recalled Ghent. I done helped a friend get out of it. But later, Don calls me and says, man, where you been? Cornelius was preparing to launch a live day Curtis Mayfield, Mercury, and Brunswick label in town. Early guests, B.B. King, Tyrone Davis, and Curtis Mayfield. Almost instantly, they were lined around the block of black teenagers to ride the train. I tried to go by if they were good-looking, intelligent. I had the best personality, say Ghent. I wanted to put together a group that would have a sense of togetherness and feel like family while they were in the studio. When dancers and musical guests would take the elevator to the 41st floor of the Board of Trade, then walk up the fire escape like staircase to the 43rd, they really were becoming a part of the family and influential one. Because they had self-released the records they performed on Soul Train, I Feel Good, that American Bandstand cost $1,000 to get on American Bandstand. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I remember reading something about that back before, after it was over with. But yeah, that's amazing.
Wow.
That makes sense too.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm, most shows pay you to be on their show. You don't have to pay them, but hey, what can I say? So Nate Pendleton recalls the appearing on the show helped him to bridge the race gap at work. Manuel Seals and myself were among the few black letter carriers at the Hawthorne post office. Someone put a sign over the clock that Nate and Manuel were going to be on the Soul Train. And when we came back to work, 5 white guys were doing our routine. I thought it was hilarious. Seals' son Manuel Jr. in the R&B hit